So you wanted to see some synergistic picks from mid-jungle. There's still a lot left open. We are no longer getting the Rumble ban. It seems like that's going to be the priority for Xiaoxu.
Rumble Wukong is a massive strong combo here. Massively strong combo, sorry. I would love to see that. There isn't really a ton into the Rumble, like Ambessa, whatever. I know you really hate the Ambessa jungle. Not a big fan of that we started seeing in Demacia. I liked it when it was with Orianna, but not a huge fan of it outside of that combo. I loved how fast that combo was, but I think Leona looks good for IG here on 3. For JDG, Vitalia, I think it's really good. Synergistic mid duo, could go RE2 with a strong side top side as well, that you can have roam down and make some really good team fights. I think this is a really good start for JDG if they do go something like that in the mid lane.
We'll have to see what the answer is. Also, top lane right now is in a really interesting spot. We're talking about potential counters. There is no Alistar in the game, so Rel becomes really strong, and you think about that force multiplier alongside a Misfortune. That could be really dangerous for JDG to deal with. They're going to hide their mid pick, maybe trying to get a little bit more information out from Invictus Gaming's draft. We are expecting, again, that Rel to come on through, but I think Cassante is a perfectly reasonable answer to Rumble.
Another thing that is strong with the Alistar ban, like you mentioned, is the Sivir, right? Something that you have to either pick with the Alistar or ban the Alistar away. The matchup is just so strong for the Alistar. I think, like, going support here would be nice, but you've got Rel, Leona, Rakan isn't too bad. The Nocturne having some global potential on IG's side this time. But what is going to be the pairing? I mean, Nocturne MF, it does create some confusion in the fight to allow bullet time to maybe get full channeled, but you're going to need something to pair with this this Nocturne in the mid lane. Orianna's banned, so Aurora an option, but I'm not sure here for IG.
You could go for tanks. I know we've seen the Swain one time from Rookie. It'll obviously depend on the mid matchup. I think Talia is a little too short-ranged, even if she does have the globals to be able to match with this champion. So we'll see what IG are going to go for. Immediately we go into the second ban phase, and we're seeing an Enchanter in the Lulu taken away. A very strong pairing with the Sivir, as we have seen throughout the series, or throughout the season. But there is, I think, a lot of engaged supports that are now able to be played. A lot more of these control mages, especially with a champion like Bard no longer in the game.
Akali ban. This Silas is an option, I guess, for HongQ, but with the Akali ban, normally something you played into the Akali. I would say Ahri is what JDG are looking towards. They need something that pairs with the Vi that allows the combo to be a bit better. Pair with the Wukong as well to have CC, because that's your team fight right now. You've got late game damage with the Sivir. The AoE bouncing autos is great. But for IG's side, anything that helps this MF full cast her ult, if it's like a Rel or a Leona, looks really nice. If they want to go towards something like the Swain that you talked about, that has a bit more of a brawly team fight that can actually live through, it will be the Rakan. Okay, so now Nautilus is really strong here. I think it's just Nautilus.
Nautilus, I think Leona might give you better odds here in this game, especially for the lane. But we'll have to see what Vampire's going to opt for. Also means that Rookie will get counter pick, which has been a bit in the air as to whether or not we've really gotten a great performance from him, especially in that last game with the LeBlanc into Azir. Didn't really feel like we got to feel Rookie's impact in the game. There's that Nautilus, so incredibly strong team fighting yet again from JDG. You get to cheat minion waves with the Sivir, but we're still yet to see kind of JDG pull it all together here in this series.
Sorry, hold on. I've just got to...
Yep.
Yeah, Ahri. Ahri? No, not Ryze. Ahri. Shebal. All right. We're going with the Ryze. It's going to be countered by the Anivia. This has been rising in priority. I think Nemesis played this matchup. I don't know how I feel about it, right? From what I watched from that game, I haven't seen a ton of this matchup, but the Anivia outranges, yes, but the Ryze just kind of stands there and hits the Anivia and the wave and wins. And I know you're playing more for the late game for this Anivia, but for IG's team, I feel like maybe, is Cassiopeia not good here? Nautilus? I know that it's really hard.
Cassiopeia
really
versus
hard.
Vi, Nautilus and Rumble, that sounds very miserable to play.
I know
you get
that
hit by one skill shot and you're done.
Nord is hard against an Anivia, you just wall it off, and maybe the Vi is there too, so I do see it, but I just wasn't convinced by this matchup. These guys are a little bit better than our LEC representatives from Los Ratones, so I will be taking a little bit more stock into these guys' play of these picks, but I think the JDG have the tools here. I think that if this is, again, they want to win, like, this is the perfect draft for it.
This just in, folks. Our own colorcaster JDG has said that Caps versus Nemesis has no hands in comparison to a HongQ versus Rookie matchup. As we're getting ready for here, Rise versus Anivia. We'll have to see whether or not they can end up delivering in the same way that an LEC versus can, but we're getting ready for game number 2. Playoff dreams alive here for Invictus Gaming if they can win this game. And with the scaling draft yet again here for JDG, it's all about can they hold out. And this time around, can they actually execute? We're heading into game 2, folks.
I'm gonna say, Alk, the guy doing this JDD fan chant, he needs to be a voice actor. Like, he's got the best voice ever.
Last year when we were listening to this guy, he was the most recognizable fan leader out of, I think, any other club here in the league. So always glad to see that he's still sticking around. I was a little sad because I think that during the beginning of the year, we didn't get too many Jaios. So I'm happy to see that we are kind of getting back into the full swing of things here in the season. Getting some early looks at the game here. We want to talk a little bit about this mid matchup. It is early winning for Rise, but as Anivia picks up items, it becomes a lot easier for her. And like you mentioned, the short range of a champion like Rise does really well for Rookie. And also, I think that this Anivia champion is going to get so much value. The wall they're going to be able to place to stop a champion like Nautilus later on, and just the low range that JDG have. We'll have to see. We'll see if they're able to execute. And Anivia was also one of the champions we actually got to see last year thanks to HongQ, even if there was some questionable plays. Seeing Jwei have his health taken out, but junglers are both pathing down to this side of the map, so maybe we get a little bit more action soon.
Well, it's so far 2 pushing lanes. It kind of should be 3, or it will be 3 after Xiaoxu gets this bounce back. But the Sivir bouncing autos, Nautilus into Rakan is very hard for Rakan to play through most of the game, but in the early game specifically, and the Rise just one-shotting the wave as Rise does. But this means that JDG have kind of the pick of the litter here. You know, JunJia can go wherever he feels like with this Vi. Vi has great ganks pre-level 6 compared to most junglers because of the Vault Breaker. But not great damage, right? Like, especially level 1. She doesn't do a ton in the 1v1. Both these junglers very dependent on level 6, though. So I would be surprised to see some action outside of that. But with these pushing lanes, I think JunJia can look for something.
I wanted to take a look at mid lane, because both of our mid laners, after the first 2 waves, took a recall, hiked it back mid, but that was Rookie TPing in. I think he's maybe expecting that HongQ was going to trade the Ghost. Not the case here. So without that teleport, the flexibility of being able to play on the map is a little bit more limited. But with this Ghost, I think that not only does HongQ have individual lane prowess, especially with the phase rush, but if he needs to move in between lanes, he does have a little bit of an advantage there if he really needs to kind of take a hop and a skip over.
Yeah, you know how the game's going to go when both mid laners at 3 minutes base for a tier, and that's it. These guys want to scale. They want to sit here and not do anything. And even though Wei is behind him, behind HongQ, he says, no, I'm still going to go for my Raptors. But JunJia is around.
I like this. This 2v2 puts a bit of pressure. They also get the timer for those Raptors, so it is something that they can revisit in 2 minutes time. We'll see whether or not that actually comes to fruition. So everybody, 5 minutes. Also is a bit of a very unique or ubiquitous timer now in the early season with talks about grubs.
Ooh.
That's a very big trade. HongQ has no mana, though, and the best part about this Anivia passive is that is essentially a second HP bar, and sometimes it's always just more worth it to get a free refresh and take your recall here.
HongQ has Flash and Ghost, so he should be okay even if Rookie gets a wall down.
Oh
Nice.
my god, very
Flash.
almost dry solo kill there. HongQ lives with barely enough HP. Thankfully, uses his summoner spell. He'll probably use Ghost to get back into this lane alongside the home guards, but a very good trade found by Rookie that hopefully should buy him a recall as well.
I mean, HongQ was able to break the egg, so no snack in the mid lane, just some chicken after that. So hopefully JDG a fan of chickens because there is a free one in the mid lane. You know, no mobility, but IG here with the Gromp. I mean, the second Scuttle is going to be spawning, or the third. This trips me up, the third. But it's in the top side this time, so neither jungler is there to get their easy level 6.
Jwei with 21 stacks right now. Is looking to maybe look for Dragon. When they changed Dragon auto attacks to be spells, that was a pretty big change we saw a couple of years ago. And it's something that Nocturne can take advantage of, getting bonus movement speed from his shield. Seeing some movement around mid as Vampire starts to enter. He's going to get spotted by this ward. Now, Jack, I think we have a little bit of downtime here.
Yes.
You had talked about previously that it's very hot currently in Australia.
It is pretty hot, yeah.
So, do you think like a serving of Anivia wings would be good for you? You know, it's a bit chillier. It's gonna be like cold chicken essentially, but hopefully it cools you. It's like eating cold. It's like eating cold soba noodles.
So it's like, okay. So it's hot, but the other way. I know I have a way with words, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because like it's so cold that it's freezing. Yeah. Photic's caught here. Should be able to walk away. Now I'm thinking because Anivia, like, it might be too cold, you know what I'm saying? Where it might actually turn it the other way, where it's like, okay, this is unbearable to eat. Although that is that a seagull? I don't know if we eat seagulls.
Not it. I have never done that. I've never heard people do that, so I'm gonna hopefully protect our seagull brethren and make sure that they are at least protected for the time being, even if they are a bit of a pest.
Yeah, I don't know about protecting my seagull brethren. They're pretty frustrating. You know, you go to the beach, you get some hot chips on a nice summer's day, and they just sit in front of you all day, and if you give them one chip, they invite 30 of their friends, and then they don't leave you alone for the rest of the day. It's frustrating. Maybe we should start eating seagulls.
So they're like children. All right.
Okay.
That's a modest proposal coming in from JBetto. So, all right. Well, we talked all about potentially eating some, you know, Kentucky Fried Anivia. And I'm not seeing any action. No early dragons. We said that, you know, there was some early game potential here for JunJia, but level 6s have come and went here for both of our junglers. And I think we are still getting more of that scaling game.
I'm actually really shocked that Xiaoxu has had very little push in this top lane. I know he's up 10 CS, which is nice, but I expect Rumble to be way stronger in this lane. I guess Mbessa is just that champion
I think
right now.
Mbessa can just spam her ability. She can just donkey roll the keyboard.
Yeah,
and with
maybe
all
you're right.
the additional range and the shielding she gets, she can trade a little bit of her HP and do that. As we can see,
that.
also has the Hex Drinker ready here for Soboro already, so has a little bit more kick to be able to fight back versus this Rumble. But yeah, like you're mentioning, there's some surprising occurrences already this early on.
I'm surprised that Ryze has been the only champion to go Actualizer. Oh, hold on, under tower?
Is this a real one? I mean, he has no flash. Yeah, why not? We have the damage. Wait a minute, did we take too many turret shots? What are we doing? Wait, Rookie, he's still a turret. It's still gonna cook him.
No way!
No! We wanted cold served wings, and right there, JDG get 2 kills for HongQ.
I think that was scrambled eggs there, Alk. And those are pretty nice too. I don't know if they're cold scrambled eggs. I don't know if I'd like those. But the dragon as well being taken. Is this like some like a crocodile meat? I mean, we do actually. Some people do eat that in Australia, but
it's also
maybe in Florida. Do they eat crocodile meat?
We got gator bites. We got gator bites. They taste like chicken for anybody at home. But a very well played dive for HongQ, but maybe missing some of that damage. So let's take a look back at this because they have the minions.
There's one minion, but it doesn't really matter because IG is just tanking. But there's just not enough damage. Rookie goes in, because he wants to get the 1-for-1, has to flash as well, or HongQ would have been out, and then he's just, I reckon he's a couple of pixels in there. Is very unfortunate, but HongQ outplayed, I guess.
Yeah, so someone has to auto there, and you can see that both Wei and Rookie were like, oh, you know, the other person will get it. Probably Rookie's thinking like, you know, it's level 7.
The kill.
Yeah,
No,
like he has red buff. Surely he's got this. Gala now does have to pop the on the hunt, gets a little bit of movement speed, somehow gets back underneath his minion wave, even with Photic having priority and most of his HP bar. Also had already popped the elixir that is giving him a ton of adaptive force here, so a lot of upfront damage. Gala will lose his ultimate and his barrier. IG have made some flubs, and while the rest of the map is not doing well, Photic currently is at least holding his own versus Gala and Vampire.
Yeah, if Photic had had the bullet time, it would have been, I guess this is where it was used.
There's the
bullet time was earlier, chunked him down to about half HP, and then when Gala had gone in, Photic wasn't able to get the kill, does only have the Vamp Scepter, so not enough damage to chew through Gala, but will force him to base. Gala must have already had a decent CS lead. I wasn't looking for it, I was more focused on the mid lane, but Photic, even with that, still down in CS, which is kind of insane. I will say, I wanted this mid jungle from JDG to be like more together. And again, JunJia's had a start of this game where he has just completely farmed. That's all he's done. HongQ's been like, nearly solo killed in mid before, lost his flash, nearly killed Rookie in a solo kill himself, got him down to egg first, then ganked again and got the double kill, and JunJia is just payphone on, full clearing his jungle.
Is that such a bad thing? Because Wei just got an MVP for doing that, and he got all the objectives for free. And look, JDG, they got 3 grubs, and they got the first dragon. This is exactly the strategy we saw from IG, and they just won a game versus JDG. So all I'm going to say is, Jbetto, don't knock it, okay? It turns out full clear is very OP currently. JDG 2 stacks away, or 2 jungle camps away from getting their fully upgraded smites, 1400. And Wei currently looking for a jungle camp to snack on. Maybe it's going to be this bottom side scuttle, but we do see a convergence. Say I will prefer a Vi Nautilus to a Rakan and a Nocturne.
Yeah.
They'll take control of the Fey Lights and not much more action after that.
Well, the KFA is TPing back into the mid lane. And JunJia does have that full upgraded smite like you talked about, but Wei won't be too far behind. It'll be way before the dragon spawns that Wei has the upgraded full smite. I think it's interesting, the upgraded smites, like the 1000 true damage and now the 1400 true damage. I guess trying to stop steals happening as much, but it still happens just as much.
Yeah, they just put a little bit more, power into the role. Now we're getting a scuffle between the 2 solo lanes. Oh, even JunJia's here. JunJia. This is like a great Christmas surprise. HongQ has brought the jungler, and now Rookie tried to help out his top laner and now gets completely screwed in the trade. There's nothing even to play for topside. It is just the crystalline overgrowth that is building the crust around this turret. But nothing from JDG is going to get more from this. It is all about just sapping resources away from this Anivia.
I'm not gonna lie. You're making me a little bit hungry. Like first, it's
okay. The crust thing
eggs.
is Cap. I can't take any credit for that one. That's Captain Flowers. He introduced crust, and I still don't know if I like it, but it's just funky enough that I like it. It's got a ring to it.
Is it like rock candy? You know? Is that what the crystals are? Are they edible?
Yeah. They're like pop rocks.
There's a bit in Avatar, like The Last Airbender, where Aang goes to, what is it? What's the earthbending place? I can't remember the place name. Omashu? Omashu, that's the place.
Omashu, okay.
And his friend Boomy is using the growing crystals. They're rock candy. That's what I was thinking about.
Sure, we can use that. For everybody who hasn't watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, that's your fault, okay? We even had a whole secret layer event in Magic the Gathering. There's so much cross-promotional material here.
I got some cards with my friends. That was a good event. But, I mean, Dragon spawned. I want to talk about that top play quickly before. It's JunJia and HongQ playing well together. I think that's what we need to continue to see if this team wants to find success. When they look bad, it's when these two are disconnected and Vampire, the third member, kind of sneakily always playing with JunJia, who can't or couldn't connect in that game 1 as well. Pretty decent vision setup for JDG. This would be their second Drake. Pretty good dragons. I mean, are we going for like the triple high roll here? Cloud, Hextech, and then Infernal Soul?
That would be beautiful. We'll have to wait and see. IG, I think, recognize they're probably not getting this dragon. Jwei's recalling now does have teleport if they want to try to look for something, but I hope observers just show us vision here, because there is so much darkness in this river.
Yeah.
It is impossible. And we see top laners are fighting. I think Xiaoxu actually might lose this, but Soboro is just straight up getting cooked under the equalizer and the flame spitter of this rumble. We'll lose out on this wave as Xiaoxu is going to take a recall. No play made on the opposite side of that. HongQ, is he going to fall for it? Is he going to get baited? All right.
I mean, Vampire's here to cover him. JunJia's here as well. I think they know.
Vampire is just face checking. Hey, I'm Nautilus. There's my Aftershock proc. Who needs a fear? Depth charge thrown out just to give a little bit more space for the rest of the team. And now we're just going to be clearing wards as JDG. So a big investment there for Invictus Gaming, but not much lost.
Yeah, I think JunJia's looking for vision with that punch forward, but just couldn't find onto anybody. At this point in the game, I feel like JDG do really win without MF ult being there in the 3v3 like that. But unfortunately for JDG, JunJia can't find the ult after Vampire used his, but it is Infernal Soul, so we got some pretty high roll Drakes here. You're going to go a little bit of movement speed, a little bit of ability haste, and some attack speed, and that is heartbreaking. Oh,
whoa! Holy!
That was an alley-oop! Holy!
Yeah. 26 HP. Okay. JunJia, no one else is here, and I love looking at player cams during this moment because you can see everybody from JDG are looking across. It's just Xiaoxu. JunJia is going to survive, but the public execution will take him out. No! The blast shield keeps him alive, and Soboro has to commit the flash. Gala's trying to walk away. A blast cone will put space between him and Photic, but there's a bullet time that might just have his name. Flash from both AD carries keeps the AD carry of JDG alive. Now a re-engage here from JDG as the equalizer puts a red carpet that stops any engagement there from IG from going forward. So even if it is just JunJia going down, it'll be a turret in the bottom lane for JDG, and this Herald going over to IG.
Now this is the signs of JDG that don't look the best, when JunJia is too fast, too far forward on these plays, and one of the negatives of going a combat summoner in mid, Rookie TP's in, but HongQ can't, so he's just forced to go for the plays. JunJia is way too far forward. His team is not ready. Rumble is down tempo, so Soboro rotates in first. And I agree. I think if I'm JDG here, I'm looking to the side. But I think it is good for JDG that everybody else got out. This could have turned very bad very quickly if Gala had died and Vampire died, saving him. Maybe you could dive on the Rumble as well there. But JDG still maintain the gold and the Dragon lead. They do lose Herald, but not too much on the map. It's going to, this Herald is going to need to find value. I think that Herald in this season is more valuable because you can use it on tier 2 for plates and get more gold, whereas in this point in the game last year, you would just have to kill the tower and use the Herald for mid-prio, but JDG still maintain control over the full map.
Jack, can you, I guess this is kind of hard if you don't have cams in this moment. Can you point anywhere on the map where there might be a tier 2 here for IG?
I'm just saying in the future, like if this top tower was to go down.
I'm sorry, I have
maybe
to
top lane tier 2. Look, I'm
sorry,
pointing. You just can't see me, all right?
Point? Any pointers in chats? Now, Xiaoxu, equalizer on the wave. There is the Nocturne Paranoia alongside the Grand Entrance, so they'll get the kill here, but I'm looking at the big picture here, and they have now started to shore up a lot of the gold lead that HongQ had. He had 1,400 gold before this play, and Rookie has been hoovering up these waves versus the Rumble.
Yeah, I'm pointing at that top lane right now.
Okay.
Oh yeah, do it. Hang on. Producer is going to turn on our cams.
Okay.
Are we
You can't see it. Your cam is on. Your cam is on. Just imagine it is.
Somewhere here. I'm not quite sure. I'm pointing though. I can't see where I'm pointing to, but
Close enough.
It's pointing to an eye. Look, step 1, hard and fast through jungle. We haven't really done that this game. Step 2, Photic's looking okay. We need to remember our steps here. Need to remember our steps.
Is Photic the best AD carry of 2026 in the LPL?
That's
a no. There was very little conviction coming through for a yes there, so I'm gonna cut you off there.
I don't know if I'm legally contractually allowed on this project to say that Photic is the best AD carry of 2026 right now, of how we've seen him play. But he might be the best AD carry in this series so far. I could say that.
That, you know what? That's a great way to get around that. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Jbetto here. Way with words, this man. We'll see as we start to set up for a dragon. This is going to be the Infernal, and this should be sole point if JDG can confirm this. Soboro's going to grab this turret, but needs to teleport for this play. And I think that JDG need to be very careful. Now, great use of choking out the rest of the vision here in the river. IG are going to say, nope, we don't even want to try to go for this. Now, okay, now we're going to revert. Photic's going to hit on the mid-wave. We're going to be late to this objective. Probably going to get IG on their way out. JDG playing to one side on the left. Paranoia is thrown out alongside with Jwei. The entrance is stopped thanks to Vampire. And another huge knockup stops IG from walking forward. Even with the Cryo Storm, even with the bullet time, now we're going to be sending Vampire on a one-way trip to ruin IG's day. Soul point secured for JunJia Gaming. And just a full clear-on ace coming on through. Photic will survive. The same will not be said for our Kentucky Fried Anivia. Let's take a big gold lead here for JunJia Gaming.
Yeah, well, the gold lead in mid was getting evened up, but Alk, it is blown back up to now this 2,000 lead for JDG. They have Infernal Soul Point as well, but that fight was really well played from JDG. When the Paranoia came through, I was a bit worried about how the fight was going to get played out, but Paranoia goes in onto Gala, and so does the Public Execution, but it whiffs. It goes completely wide here, so you can see that Vampire needs to flash away, and they send onto Gala here.
Oh, no. Vampire smurfed this fight. Vampire smurfed the hell out of this fight. Just throws the depth charge. It knocks Jwei up in the middle of his grand entrance and the quickness, so he can't even get the stun combo down. Intentional or not, a great play coming in from the support that may have had a bit of a trickier time in Game 1 and in parts of the early season, but is really starting to make a name for himself as one of the biggest glow-ups we've had in the last year in support.
And continues to, do so in 2026. I think this player has been exceptional through 2026 so far. I mean, it's been, 3 or 4 weeks, but I would feel confident putting him top 3 right now in the, support discussion. This JDG team would need to find some more success with him to put him solidly in that, or even contesting, and having him in the conversation for higher than that. But Infernal Soul Point here for JDG. Baron is a very solid option with a Sivir Rise comp, with a Rumble as well, working on the Infinity Edge for Gala. HongQ is now working on that actualized item I was talking about earlier that I am a little surprised no one else is going. It does make them, it's Rise's item, but nobody else is building this item besides Rise, and it makes him so strong. When that item gets pressed, you get like 30% extra cooldown,
almost 40%
on your abilities.
It depends on where you are in the game. That. It's really disgusting.
And then there's just so much more damage.
Yeah. I think one of the only reasons we see it on Rise is that no other champion in the game gets more mana for having AP, which is part of Rise's passive. So you get up to that 35-40% mark in late game. That's where it really becomes like a really big item spike for you to have, especially on 3. So, I mean, generally all control. I think now maybe we do have the time, since we do have him on our screen for a little bit. Rookie on this Anivia, we were asking whether or not we were going to be able to see Rookie. He has been a big pain point for IG in series past, and even on the LeBlanc game in the last one, really wasn't a big contributor to the game. Here on the Anivia, I think we're barely seeing him in a lot of this. He's just kind of clearing the minion waves, and that's about it.
I think Rookie is such an important part of this team. It didn't particularly, like you were touching on, out of the most in that last series, but in their wins, it has been Rookie. And again, I'm not sure how I feel about this matchup. This is the second time I've seen it in the last like 24 hours or so. And it really feels like, yeah, Rookie has the range, and that's great. And the wall is good into some of these champions that JDG have. But Rise just does more damage in burst. He does more damage like quicker as well. Kind of walks in with these Merc Treads as well. That the tenacity is good with Rakan. It's great into Anivia. and the magic damage as well, and just kind of one-shots you. There's Actualizer picked up. You've got a minute on this Infernal Soul. We're a while away from Infinity Edge on Photic and Gala, but
hold up now. They're recalling. Like, oh, wow. It's
what
so
do we
close.
have?
BF, so we had Pickaxe, double control. It seems like MF did finish this IE.
Photic's got it.
All right, so support quests coming on, or the role quest, I should say, for our AD carry starting to kick in. Photic now gets to finish 3 items. That is a really big purchase, and I think the difference here is that Gala has completed the plated steel caps and no completed boots here for the Photic. And Engage comes on through. It's our supports throwing out all of their ultimates. This is a situation that gives an advantage over to JDG. IG have no purchase into this river, and we're 30 seconds away from a drag.
And it's Infernal Soul. That is massive. Gala takes a decent chunk here. Doesn't have a ton of sustain, but will be able to heal up a little bit. JunJia punches forward. I thought he was going to go there. HongQ may be caught by the wall, but he just stands there.
Oh, wait a minute. The Equalizer, does this do anything? They've caught out HongQ. That was a big item power spike we were asking with the Actualizer. So now a 4v5 has opened up here for Invictus Gaming. JunJia moves forward. There is that Justice. He's being delivered on a Photic, but it does no damage. IG, what else are we looking for? Gala, a great spell shield, keeps him alive.
Oh
a re-engage from Jwei to knock up Vampire. Have JDG just given up their spot here in this game. A few quick picks here in the mid lane turn into a gold lead that's been evaporated and a drag into Invictus.
And how much do JDG lose off of this? It's 20 seconds on JunJia. They're going to lose the soul. It will be the first Drake for IG, but do IG feel confident enough to go for a Baron? No. So this is only going to put a little timer on this game. This is so well played by everyone from IG. So HongQ's caught. He has flash and goes and just stands here and tanks it all. Knocked up as well by the Nautilus, flashes away and still dies. Then I think that Rookie played the second half of this so well. As we transition back, where like the look goes on to Gala here after JunJia goes in. But Rookie, with the stun, looks really nice. Moves over into Gala, who spell shields the E perfectly. But then Sonya's on the hook, so it hits the wall. It's so well played by IG. Like these tiny little micro plays here. And oh, hang on. IG is positioning on the top lane. JunJia's here.
They don't know Soboro's here. Soboro's lying in wait. They're going to see if IG maybe want to go for something a little bit more. This could be a long-range engagement.
They're going to go with Paranoia.
HongQ is out. Yeah, they've already retreated back into their jungle. JunJia and a Vampire were like, okay, we'll just try to take our wars. We'll maybe go back into our blue side jungle, and that turns into a pick here for IG. So Xiaoxu no longer on the map. And we asked for Rookie to show up, and in that fight, I think he had a really big performance and might have maybe led his team to having a pretty big angle here in this game. Now, HongQ's going over. We're seeing an engagement. That's Jwei immediately deleted off the map. What else can we see from JDG? Because this is going to be a very tentative few moments here. Soboro will come back. How much more fighting can we get? Vampires to walk through all of the Cryo Storm. Get a little bit more damage. Bullet time doesn't quite land, so Vampire will live for the time being, and that is going to be a pick that JDG are absolutely going to need.
I mean, it's an effective pick onto Vampire. It means that he has to base and do nothing on the map until Jwei's back up, until Xiaoxu's back up, but it's these catches, Alk, one after the other. Xiaoxu gets caught by the tempo overstay from Soboro. Really nice catch on the side lane, and then JunJia and HongQ just say, we have to go, we have to get something back so that IG don't have an advantage, and they take down Jwei. Vampire effectively gets taken out by his HP, but no gold gets given over, so it is a full reset now. Everyone is back on the map. Baron's still up, and we're 2.5 minutes away from this dragon. I mean, if this Paranoia comes back up and Soboro does, like, look, IG setting up for the exact same thing again. Everyone is bot side, maybe looking for Xiaoxu again.
Can I posit a theory here? And maybe we don't have the time for this, but there is no dragon. Jwei is in the middle of river. Grand Entrance is going to get him across the wall, and the Battle Dance will get him to safety. Now we're re-engaging onto Xiaoxu. He's by himself in the river. Public Execution gets them stunned up for the time being. Does Jwei finally go down? HongQ will decide that is not the case. The Equalizer will keep the rest of IG away from this pick. And Soboro now will finally go down. Wei falling as well. Might just turn into a Baron afterwards. This Nocturne is all but dead at this point. Vampire's fishing, and it seems like JDG want to continue to squeeze IG out from this river. Photic is the next to fall, and Baron is the next up on the plate.
HongQ finds a great flank around behind everybody of IG. Starts it off with the first kill onto Jwei. And then the Realm Warp, sorry, onto Soboro. Then the Realm Warp catches onto Jwei. Photic's fallen down as well. And JDG here will start up this Baron. I mean, it's still a minute away from this Drake Alk. So I think you have enough time to ask me your proposal.
I don't think we can. Okay, so we're going to have this replay. I don't think we have to really...
I just want to see where HongQ goes. How does he get around behind? So this is... he just walks? He really just says, yeah, I'm just going to walk behind here. Because this is where I was worried about Xiaoxu here. Or Xiaoxu, sorry. And then HongQ just walks into the back and kills Jwei, basically. Takes down Soboro. So Jwei is so low. Just walks in and kills Soboro. The Realm Warp in to take down Jwei is really nice. And then Photic is just caught by the TP. All on the back of HongQ, just walking behind everyone of IG.
This is a legendary Yakety Sax moment there. We literally just walked around both sides of the Dragon Pit and got nothing done as Invictus Gaming. So a lot of cardio, very little gold earned during that play. JDG will use their Baron for the time being. Again, still 2 minutes on this. They didn't even have to start the Dragon on spawn. There's a bot wave that is pushing. You can see that IG, they have a slim line of vision going through their blue side jungle right now. That is kind of their last hope to be able to fight. Because this is, as you said, a timer. Every single Dragon for the formidable or for the foreseeable future is going to be a soul point available for JDG. So they know every 5 or so minutes, that's a fight that IG are gonna have to take. And they don't feel comfortable. Remember, they're missing. They have all their flashes. There's a GA available here for JunJia.
Far.
Oh no, can he get into the pit though? Soboro's holding him on this side. That's a Dragon over to Jwei, but how much can JDG get? Because there's still a Baron. They're still winning out on numbers. And even if they got the objective, that's 2 kills over to Xiaoxu. This Rumble is burning them alive. Soboro, it doesn't even matter. You don't need the public execution because now JunJia and HongQ will arrive in the middle of this fight. It's a 5-0. Baron still available here for JDG, and we might just have tied up this series.
I think that fight for me is just cementing a Vampire player of the game here. That was so good from Vampire. He finds the catch and then completely denies Jwei. This matchup is pretty tough for Rakan to play out, but Vampire is playing it so well. JDG lose the soul again, but this time it doesn't matter at all. It's going to be a game that's going to 3 Alk. JDG find their mid-jungle synergy. A strong bot lane. Photic has forgotten who he was again. And we're going to our third game.
Yeah, look, I failed my microfinances class, and I'll freely admit that. It's the one blemish on my collegiate record. But I'll take that trade any day of the week. A third Dragon versus the Nexus? That's just going to be a freebie going over to JDG. And like you said, this series is going the distance. Again, for both of them, it is a spot to try to lock themselves into the top 4 of playoffs. So a very important match here tonight.
The fans are getting pretty excited too. For JDG, they need to just win one more, and they are locked into the playoffs, which, again, playoffs, play-ins, it doesn't particularly matter, but what matters the most is lock in a better seed, and you're locked in guaranteed to group ascend in Split 2. Remember, for those viewers who might have forgotten, if you do not make it to playoffs, so you go through play-ins and then lose your 2 best of 5s if you're in group ascend, you are in Nirvana for Split 2.
Yep. I've actually, we're going to have a little bit of time before we get some of those post-game graphics. If we could real quick kick it to the standings. I know they're not going to be updated for our Ultra Prime series that we saw earlier tonight, so everybody, for all of our group Nirvana fans, just keep it to yourself, okay? You don't have to type in chat. But as you can see, JDG and if I look at IG, they need to get to 4 wins if you're Invictus. Yep. For JDG, it's just a single series win. We don't need to make this as excruciating as possible. And here's the time that I want to try to leverage or talk about my theory. I think that JDG are great into teams where they have to outplay their mid laner, the enemy mid laner. So when you're talking about, obviously for BLG, Knight, the best player in the league, when you're playing against AL, you could do a little bit, but think about the teams that they have lost to in recent, even going back. They lost to IG. I mean, Rookie, obviously, we talked about him enough. He has been not having the greatest split so far. They lose to Weibo, and while Xiaoxu has had some great games, that is a game or a series where we're really not looking at Xiaoxu to do very much in a lot of those games. Lost to AL, where Shanks is mostly a big nullifier in a lot of series. So maybe that's just a kryptonite. Maybe JDG just... HongQ wants to get a little spicy in lane. He wants to solo kill Knights, and every other mid laner is like, yeah, bro, I'll just take a nap real quick until 20 minutes, and we'll play our game.
So what I'm hearing off of this theory is that HongQ's the best mid in the LPL. Think about it.
What if I don't want to think about it? What happens then?
Well, then we move on to our post-game graphics. Bit of a gold drop there around the 25-minute mark. A little blemish. Maybe JDG failing a class here and there, but yeah, right there. Little dip there.
Let me
but
real quick,
oh, yep, okay.
Window capture.
He's figuring it out.
Yeah, one second. We're gonna figure this out real quick. Okay. All right.
Okay.
We're gonna do this really quick, producer. If we could just let me just swap to the. So I want us to take a look.
Okay.
Where is Knight?
Yep.
3-player of the series. Now let's try to find HongQ on here. Yikes, he's not on here. I don't think we can call HongQ the best mid laner in the league. Weird how that works.
Now look, I'm all for cherry picking stats to suit narratives. HongQ has a 100% win rate against Knight this season.
In series, yes. In games, not necessarily, but
in series,
all right, you got me. You got me.
It's 2
You're
games. Right. 2 games. Love it. I love it. 2 games, 2 wins, 100%. Just ignore the 2. It's 100%. Anyway, JDG found success in their mid jungle. I think that HongQ is a really, really good player. I don't actually think he's the best.
No, Jack, you should have just committed to it. Don't sell the joke. Don't sell the joke. Oh, you just let it ride.
Viewers. All right, now you can listen. That was just for Alk.
Okay,
all right?
Thank you.
Muted myself on stream for everyone. Now, you couldn't hear me, but I think this player is really good. I think this team is really good too. I think that, even though Rookie had a great game, I do think your idea is right. Like, when Rookie needs to play well and HongQ kind of gaps him, like, this is yakety sacks for sure. I can't believe this was allowed to happen. But for the most part, in my opinion, the reason that this IG team couldn't really get off with this draft is that Rakan just couldn't play the game. Any fight. He had no fights to play. That one, he's one shot by HongQ. There's a fight at the end. I really hope we get to see this in the highlights, where Vampire just completely checks him like a linebacker. I don't know anything about American football, but he just stands there and says, no, not happening today.
It's right here.
This is the one.
Boom. Boom.
So it's he ults Jwei, flash ult onto Jwei, and then Jwei goes into, and HongQ, he just can't move.
HongQ just said, "Rune Prison, you're not moving anymore. Let's stop the right click.
It was ult and hook and auto onto Jwei, and then the Rune Prison, and he just can't move. So never could this. Rakan a bird. He's a Vestayan. Is it another bird? We had 2 birds technically in this game for IG. Maybe too many birds. A few less birds.
We gotta cook them all. We gotta send them to the fryers instantly. Fry vats for the rest of you. So, I think for MVP, you've put a very large focus on Vampire. I think another one could be reasonably HongQ on this rise. I think a lot of people are probably going to remember that dive underneath his turret. And there we go. He'll grab himself player of the game. Only 2. So he's going to have to do a lot more catching up with Knight if he wants to have more of these players. Because even Knight has 8 of them. He has 4 as many. He's 4 times as many.
How many years has Knight been in the league for? A few? It's a couple.
He's been here about like 6 years-ish.
6 or 7 years?
God damn it, man. Can we just remove this guy?
Well, HongQ's pretty young. He's played an amazing couple of games. Game 1 was... Okay. Game 2 was excellent from HongQ. If JDG can find that synergy again, I need to take off my cap. Hold on. All right, there we go. For IG, what they need to do is, again, find Photic something comfortable where they can drive through bot lane and look for these dragons. I'm surprised that they had a comp that impacts side lanes with the Nocturne. It didn't really come to fruition. I'm not a huge fan of that Anivia Rise trade. So something that neutralizes mid is a great shout from you, and play through the bot lane, give Photic something strong, and stack Drakes equals profit, Rafa?
Perfect. Okay, so we have our laundry list available for both teams. We're going to take a short break here so we can figure out what we need to do to get ready for Game 3. A bathroom break, maybe refill some water, maybe get something to eat considering how much food we were talking about in Game number 2. Whatever it is, we'll be back after a short few moments as we get ready for Game number 3.